For the last few weeks, you've been all asking the same question. What happened with insurance? What cars are we buying? What happened to our old cars that were in the fire? What's our future plans? Is Drift Games going to survive? In this video, we answer all those questions finally, because we actually have the answer. What is up, guys, and welcome to today's video. Now, before we talk about what Drift Games are going to be doing into the future, which we'll be able, thankfully, to reveal in this video, I want to talk a little bit about the last couple of weeks and how it's been for the whole team and for me personally. So, it's not been the easiest of journeys because, obviously, we've had amazing support from the car community. We've had so many people tell us to keep fighting, never give up, and rebuild bigger, badder, and better. However, there is days when you wake up and you feel very down in yourself. You feel that you've lost years of your life. A lot of people will obviously relate things to money and say, oh, you'll get money back or you'll make money again. But what you can't make again is the sentimentality of the stuff we've lost. You can't make back the years that you've spent building it all together. So from my perspective, some days you wake up and you're so hungry and you want to go make a plan and get everything going again. And same with the boys. But then other days you just wake up and you have very little enthusiasm and you feel like you've wasted years of your life building something that's all gone. And you can get very down on yourself. And I've had some pretty dark days over the last couple of weeks where you might be buzzing and then you hit a roadblock and then all of a sudden it all comes kind of flooding back of what's happened.
That's the Lambo.
What I've learned over those couple of weeks is that it's very good and healthy to talk to other people and to share your problems or your, say, doubts or whatever, because we live in a world now, especially in the car community, where it's made up predominantly of like young males, where it's all about being cool, it's about being macho, it's about being hardcore, and it's about always having a plan and always being in control and knowing what you're going. And we live in an Instagram world where everybody's projecting how great their life is, but we all know that's not a reality, and we know that real life is real life, and we all have real problems, personally, business, friendships, relationships. So it's really important to talk to people, and that's what I've done over the last couple of weeks, is talk to friends, talk to family, talk to the boys here at Drift Games, and just whenever we feel down or we feel like we've got some doubts, we've sat down and talked through them. And talking through your problems is something so important that you need to do to be able to get past them. One thing that I've learned through this whole process and this whole mess is that there's a lot of other people out there that watch our videos that are going through a lot of stuff themselves and maybe feel like they don't have the perfect avenue to talk about it. They might not have a close family member or friend that they want to share these things with, or they feel embarrassed or whatever. And that allows me to introduce today's paid partner of the video, BetterHelp. BetterHelp connects you with a credentialed therapist who is trained to listen and give you helpful, unbiased advice. First, you go to their site. You can use our link, betterhelp.com/driftgames. I've put it on the screen and in the description below. You answer a few questions and BetterHelp will match you to a professional who has years of experience helping people with struggles just like you. You can do it all from your phone or computer via phone call, video chat, or messaging, however you feel most comfortable. It's the easiest possible way to start talking to a therapist right now. You'll be matched with a therapist usually within 48 hours, so you can get started pretty fast. Let BetterHelp connect you to a therapist who can support you, all from the comfort of your own home. Visit betterhelp.com/driftgames or choose Drift Games during sign up and enjoy a special discount on your first month. It's really important to talk to people and don't feel you're alone, and BetterHelp can really help. Okay, it's time to get into what is the future of Drift Games. If you're not aware, we have had a very busy few weeks on top of everything else. We've had Japfest in Mondelo Park, we've had Drift Masters in Spain, and then we went to Montreal for the LZ World Tour. All amazing events, but we've also been trying to plan the future of Drift Games in the background behind all of that work, which has been pretty challenging. But today, I'm able to reveal what our short-term plans are, medium-term plans are, and long-term plans are, and some of the difficulties that we've had getting there. Okay, before we talk about the future, unfortunately we have to take one last look at the past, and this is the last time we will feature our old Drift Game Studios on a video, because for our mental health and for moving forward, this is very much goodbye. 5 or 6 weeks ago, obviously you guys have probably watched the videos of the whole place burning down. We lost our beautiful Drift Game Studios, our sets, our equipment, our personal belongings, our personal cars, the channel cars, everything we'd collected for the last 10 years is now being removed by a demolition company. We have no schedule of how they do that, so we didn't get to see all of the cars, but what we can make out in one of the skips is some of the cars. Some of them are outside, and I think we didn't really clear up in all the madness which cars were actually lost in the fire. So we lost 11 cars that night, 11 cars that were very special to us, and some have already been removed and picked up by this big grabber and crushed and put into those skips. And those cars are, what we can tell at the moment, is Adam's beautiful MX-5, our podcast van, which wasn't worth a whole lot of money, but it was worth a lot to us. We had a lot of good memories in there. The Liberty Walk Lamborghini, Blaine 6 Series also gone. Our 3SG, the only one in the world, 3SG 4-cylinder Toyota powered S15. We also lost the Corvette. My favorite drift car in the world is now just a pile of bits in that skip over there. The R32 GTR is also in the skip over there. What we can see outside is my 890 Supra, which is just outside here. Our 1JZ PS13 drift car with a Spirit Ray kit, and Josh's wide body yellow RX-7 FC. Also, that's still up there, which is probably the hardest car that I've lost, is my Spirit Ray, the original Tokyo Auto Salon Spirit Ray S13, and our Chevy pickup truck is up there as well. 11 cars in total, all lost to the fire, and this is the last time we're going to get to see this or the building. As you can see, they're going to destroy the entire building, knock it all down, and then the investors in this property are not going to rebuild the building. When the building's gone and cleared out, will be then sold for land. So we won't be rebuilding anything here at the engine block, and it wasn't an option. That made us think, you know, what's our next move? What's our next option? And we went around a lot of different places. We looked at different buildings. We were auctioneers, we were property developers, we were talking about units, talking about lots of different things. A lot of the units that we went to wanted long-term leases, like 5 or 10 years. A lot of places didn't want us because we do modified cars and drifting. A lot were too expensive, or the location wasn't right. We came up with an idea for a long-term and a short-term solution. And before I talk about the long-term solution, which is quite exciting, I gotta show you the short-term solution. So in summary, and believe me, every time I come back here it's a little emotional to try and gather my thoughts, but if I'm not mistaken, we would have lost Adam's MX-5, the Liberty Walk Lamborghini, the podcast van, Blaine's 6 Series Coupe. We lost the S15, the R32, the Corvette, the Supra, Josh's RX-7, the Spirit Ray car, and the Chevy pickup truck. So what's that? 11 cars in total. Before we show you our new temporary workshop and office, this has been, I think, the best story so far on the channel. Since the fire, Josh Holsworth getting behind the wheel of the Lowbrain Drift Games NASCAR powered S13. You guys have seen this thing in action already, and Josh will be competing at every round of the Irish Drift Championship this year, and maybe some other secret events along the way. I mentioned we have a long-term, very exciting, well, actually really exciting idea, which I'll get to later in the video, but for the moment we need somewhere to be in the meantime, because the new place that we're going to build, and I mean build, is going to take time to build. So we've come back here, Mondello Park, where we actually started this whole journey probably 6-7 years ago, and we're going to basically have to renovate a place that hasn't been used in probably 5 years. So a little bit of work to do. I'm going to show you inside how it looks now, because in the next couple of weeks it's going to get a big transformation. Alright, so this is a bit mad. So 10 years ago I ran my first ever drift event in Mondello Park, and that meeting was upstairs in the area where we're about to renovate it. Now this has been decommissioned, this whole building, for about 5 years, so there's a lot of work to do, but Mondello have kindly said we're not using it, so if you guys want to renovate it and use it for the next little while, you can. So it's not in good shape, I'm going to warn you. Okay, so this is, well, it used to be the executive office for Mondello Park for their management. But as you can see, it's kind of turned into a storage room for the last maybe 5 years because they moved to another building. So this is all just kind of abandoned at the moment. So our plan is to knock all of these walls through, put some desks in, new floor, new lights, make it quite nice. And even though it's not the craziest, nicest place in the world, it's somewhere for us to come every day to be able to work on Drift Masters, LZ World Tour, Drift Games, and all the stuff behind the scenes. It does have one good thing though, because as you can see, all the windows are boarded up, but if they aren't, you look behind you, you get a great view of the racetrack. So from the office, we'll be able to see where we essentially drift for Drift Masters and our Invitationals and LZ World Tour. So not the craziest space, but a nice view. I want to say a big thank you to Mondello Park. They've been supporting us for 10 years now. They jumped straight away when they heard that we needed a place in the short term. So we're going to renovate it. We're going to make it nice, but this is basically just until we get a new place built. So we don't need to sign any big long leases or anything like that. Mondello said we can stay here as long as we want and do whatever we want in here because they're not really using the space. And it's pretty cool because we're close to the racetrack. So I just want to thank Mondello Park again because without them it was really tough to get a place without big long leases, and we don't need that because we're building a new space. So we have all the boys here working in the office, which is cool, but you're probably wondering, where are we going to put all of the cars? Well, not the cars we have now, but the cars we are going to buy. And what cars are we going to buy? Well, for that, we're going to have to go somewhere that if you're a long time follower of the channel, you're going to know very well. So here we are, back where it all began in Current Motors, and obviously Wayne's a good friend of ours, and he's been working on our cars for as long as I can remember, and he still does and still did when all our cars were in the studio. So what we would do is have them ready in the studios, and when they needed work they would come to Current Motors. And if you guys are new to the channel, this might seem unfamiliar, but if you guys have been watching Drift Games for years, you'll know this is where the whole journey started. In this shed. We built this shed for the channel a couple of years ago, and this is where we built some of the craziest cars, including the MX-5, the Corvette, and all that good stuff. However, when we moved to the Drift Games studios, this just kind of lay with no cars in it. So Wayne had a friend of his, a young guy who's getting into drifting called Ralph, who actually rented our old shed, and he's in here at the moment, so we obviously can't go back in there. However, there's a little twist in the tale which does tie this together. This place definitely brings back a lot of memories, a lot of good memories, and a lot of late nights and cold nights building cars. So Ralph is in here now, he's building his drift cars, building his street cars, and it's great to see someone young come into the scene and be so hungry and excited about building drift cars. And he's currently competing at the moment in the Irish Drift Championship, but he got a new car. And because we obviously upgraded Josh to the Low Brain Drifters S13, you're probably wondering what happened to the MX-5. Well, it didn't go very far. So Ralph has bought Josh's MX-5 and is putting back in an SR20 and gearbox. I think it's over there, and he's building this as his new drift car. So the car hasn't gone very far, which is nice for us. So you might have thought it was pretty cold that we were letting the car go after so many years, but it's not gone very far, and we'll still see it because we're going to be here from now on. But if we're not in this shed, where are we? So, unfortunately, Wayne thought he was going to have some peace and quiet around the place, but not anymore, because Drift Games are back in town. So we started here in Wayne's yard. We had our shed across the way, and this is Wayne's main workshop where he works on drift cars, modified cars, and customer cars. And as you can see, as the season went on, we started taking over your space again, Wayne.
No room to do that.
No room to do anything. So there was so many drift cars and stuff coming through from Drift Games that Wayne, as a coincidence, before the fire, before anything happened, needed to expand anyway. So he started building another workshop beside his, which is right here. So this was going to be actually for Drift Games stuff that would come in from the studios and get worked on here by Wayne, so we could keep the other workshop free for all of his regular customer work like SUVs and hatchbacks and normal cars and vans and stuff. So it just so happened, as a coincidence, he was building this anyway to handle the work we were giving him. So rather than waste the space, we decided we'd help out Wayne finish off the place, and this could be a temporary workshop for us. So it's not huge, it's not perfect, but it'll work for the time being. So now you know where our temporary office is in Mondello and our temporary workshop here in Current Motors. And I will say this is very much a case of get by with a little bit of help from your friends, because without Mondello and without Wayne, we really would be lost and not know what to do in the short term. So that's everything up to speed with you guys for the short term. But the reason you clicked on this video is because there's some big plans for the long term, and I'm going to get into those now. Alright, boys and girls, so let's summarize. We have nothing left from the old Drift Game Studios. It is all pretty much being put in the trash and nothing was salvaged. We have a new temporary office in Mondello Park. We have a new temporary workshop here at Curran Motors. We have had so much help from everybody to get back on our feet. From you guys buying the merchandise on the website, we were able to put enough money together before the insurance to replace a lot of our camera gear. Whatever we couldn't replace, we were massively helped out by Canon USA, which was headed up by Larry Chen. They sent us everything we were missing to get back going again and shooting events and shooting vlogs. So thank you so much to Larry and Canon. That was unbelievable. We obviously lost Josh's RX-7 in the fire and his engine blew up at the first round of the Irish Drift Championship. So we got Josh situated in the Low Brain Drift Games S13, which I think has been one of the big ups from the last couple of weeks. We also got the Datsun pickup truck for Adam, who lost his MX-5 in the fire. So for us, that was such a nice feeling to be able to present him with a car. He was really down about the MX-5. And because our Japanese driver Ryusei is fluent in Japanese and lives in Japan, he was able to source an amazing kit for that car that we're hoping to put into a project very, very soon. On top of that, you probably want to know what happened with the insurance. So insurance was a bit of a minefield, a bit of a disaster, because obviously our business is so unique. The stuff we collect and we build is hard to value. So in reality, when we put all of our receipts together, which we had to do for the insurance company, every single thing that we had in the place was like nearly €1 million. Now that wasn't just our money, that was 10 years of money put into it, also the boys, and also a lot of sponsorships and different things that went into it. On top of that, we had 3 big loans. So the first loan we ever took was 100k from the bank for the start of Game Changers to build the Corvette and the MX-5, which we still pay off today. Second loan was another €150,000 to do up the Drift Game Studios, and the third loan was 100,000 for the trailer. So 350,000 loans, and then we've got about maybe just shy of 500,000 coming back off the insurance. So technically, which is sad to say, we lost half of every bit of profit we had for the last 10 years. But we still have something. And with you guys helping us so much on the merchandising, we were able to put all that together and start thinking about the future. Now, our accountants and many business advisors told us that what we should do is we should pay off our loans and just, go real simple, go real backwards, go back 5 years, start small. But unfortunately, I just don't think that's how we operate at Drift Games. We're a risky team, we like being excited, we like a challenge, and from my perspective, going back 5 years just wasn't an option. So what we've decided to do is take that insurance money and put it into the one thing that you guys come to this channel for, which is cars. And boy, have we got some builds coming your way. And we couldn't do it on our own, and some amazing opportunities have come our way, some collaborations we never imagined. So we will be building a car over the next 2 months with Liberty Walk, an absolutely unbelievable car for us to take to Europe. We'll be collaborating with JDM Garage UK for another crazy set of builds, and we also have had a phone call from the main man at Ortiora, Vaughan Gittin Jr., who we will be building a car with him and with James Dean. So all that's coming in the next 2 months, along with a lot of other cool stuff, including a collaboration with DBM Engineering in Holland. And I might have picked myself up probably the craziest pro car I've ever owned. So all that stuff will be revealed in the next couple of episodes. But what you're probably asking yourself throughout this episode is, where's the long-term strategy? How are we replacing the studios? Well, no. Hello, Rocky. You good? You want to hear about our new HQ? You want to hear about it? Okay. So a couple of years ago, we tried to build our own compound with place for burnouts, racetrack, and all that good stuff. We got rejected planning from the council in Ireland, and we kind of put that idea to the side. That brought about the Drift Game Studios. So when the studios burned down, we almost brought ourselves back to a point where we said, if we're going back bigger and better and crazier, we got to go back to that original idea. So we had a phone call, a very promising one, with someone who has the land, who wants us to build a Drift Games compound, one that's open to the public, everything we wanted it to be. But it's going to take some time. We've already, with the architects, we're drawing up some plans, and this timescale looks like we'll have the plans drawn up by early July. We should put the planning in with the council then, and should know by the end of September whether or not we can go ahead and build this, mecca for car culture in Ireland now that the engine block is gone. But we're doing it on our own, not with 5 businesses, so it's very risky and very expensive, and it's something that we really want to do. So we're going to need all of your support at the events and on the merch for the next little while, and we already have all our amazing sponsors behind us. I mean, they have been unbelievable over the last couple of weeks, from Link ECU to Mobile One to Sonac to FDF, BC Racing to Strom Wheels. We lost so much of their product when it came to the fire that they're now even coming in double down on us, which is just so heartwarming. So with all that said, we have you guys behind us, the sponsors behind us, a landowner behind us. We're just drawing up some plans, and we're going to try and build a new Drift Games compound. Now, my dream is that we build it and open it at the exact same time in a year when the fire started in the Drift Games studios. That might be very ambitious, but that is what I would absolutely love, and it would be a full arc of the story. But it's going to be an awful lot of work from now to then to build up the channel, to build all the car collection back up again, and then build our dream compound. So a lot happening, but what I can say is that from the next video, everything's going to move very fast. This will not be a slow build. This will not be something that takes bits and bits and bits to get done. We are going in hard, getting cars fast, getting builds fast, getting our boys out to Europe, getting ourselves to the show, getting ourselves back in competition. And it's going to be scary financially, and it's going to be scary to see if we can all pull it off. But if you guys are behind us, we believe we can do it, and we've had so much love from all of you over the last few weeks that we almost feel like we've nothing left to lose. We want to put our heart and soul into this, and we want to go for the moon. Anything else will seem like a failure. So I thank you guys for watching this video. I hope it gives you some updates on where we are, what we're doing in the short term, what we're doing in the long term. We really want to build this thing bigger. We want to build it bigger for us, but we also want to build it bigger for the car community, build it for you guys, so that you have somewhere to hang out, somewhere to go. We probably could have taken a sensible route, taken the insurance money, paid off our loans, and just played it simple, but we're doubling down. We're going bigger, we're going crazier, we're taking even more risks. At this point, I don't even care anymore. I'm just putting it all in, putting it all on red, and for the next year, we hope it pays off. So if you guys are with us, thank you so much. Leave a comment, let us know what you think of the plan, and if you have any questions, we'll try and respond to them in the comments below. But for the meantime, we got work to do on this, and we got another 6 cars coming to the channel. So you want to see them, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next episode.